Hello and welcome to High Point Music's Gear Reviews. I'm Lewis and today I'm going to be taking you through the Fromel Phuz. So the Fromel Phuz is a bit of a new take on an old design. The thing that I think is really cool is you can blend in some germanium clipping diodes to its fairly classic 4-transistor sound. This means that you can go from a bold, bright, silicon sounding fuzz to a more vintage, crisper, warmer kind of sounding germanium fuzz. The germanium fuzz does respond to dynamics in that when you play hard, its frequency response changes, whereas the silicon is a lot more solid a response and a lot more consistent. So I think this is really cool because it gives you some interesting character when you're playing. You can dial in a few different sounds in a reasonably small pedal. And out of all the fuzzes I own, it's probably the fuzz that lends itself most to a pretty great overdrive sound, and I'll show you that overdrive sound shortly. This is my clean tone. I'm playing my Fender Stratocaster through the Fromel Phuz into our 2 notes Le Clean preamp. Bridge, some neck. Powering up. Obviously our connections are fairly simple. We've got the guitar coming in on the right hand side. Our DC connection is the standard 9-volt DC, and we've got our output connection running off to the 2 notes Le Clean. There are 4 controls. Loud is our volume control. Fuzz is our clipping or our fuzz level. A tone control is actually a low pass filter, so as you turn that up it slowly cuts high end off. And then we've got our blend control. The blend control switches between the germanium sound and the silicon sound. So I'm going to show you some overdrive sounds with the fuzz first. I've got the gain set to about 9 o'clock. The tone is all the way off, so we're getting our full response, and it's sitting in the silicon blend mode, so there's no germanium clipping going on yet. So pretty cool little overdrive sound going on. I'll bring the volume down just a little bit and the gain up a little bit. A little more level. So still reasonably overdriven kind of tones there. You can hear a little bit of that fuzziness coming in on the neck pickup. And of course, now that we're doing a little bit more clipping here, if I dial that germanium back, you hear a lot more of that fuzzy-like characteristic. And I'll show you a bit more of that once the gain gets higher. So I go back to the silicon, and we're going to dial that fuzz up to about, where are we? 1:30, 2 o'clock kind of thing. And now the fuzz is really squaring out. The sine wave is clipping really hard, and you can hear that it's getting a lot more of that fuzzy tone. The attack of the note when I first pick it is really, really squished. And now that we're clipping that hard, I'll go back to the germanium. Some neck. So getting a little bit harder there. So now I'm going to go back to the silicon mode and push that fuzz up to about full. You can hear its bigger characteristic. Swing back to the germanium blend. So with the clipping in its higher range, you can really hear that dynamic response. As it gets harder and harder, it changes the characteristic of how the pedal responds, which I think is a pretty cool feature. It means that if you control your picking dynamics or your playing volume, you can get a lot of sounds out of it just by rolling your volume off. So you can go from kind of an overdrive or a mild overdrive sound to a pretty classic silicon sounding fuzz. So with the gain control now up really high, it's going to be very obvious to show you what the tone control does. We can go from no treble reduction, which is this, half, back to no. So really just designed to cut that treble end down if you're getting any of those super ice pick highs that you're not enjoying. It's a pretty different tone control to what you might find on other fuzz pedals, and I think it's really useful. I don't tend to use it too much, but if I'm stacking it with other pedals and I want to rein in that high end, I think it's a pretty great feature. So there you have it. That is the Fromel fuzz pedal. It's got some pretty great versatile fuzz and overdrive sounds. I think that being able to blend the silicon and the germanium sounds together makes it really versatile, and it covers a lot of ground in a fairly small package. These are all made by hand. The enclosures have some pretty great artwork, so I think it's a great addition to your pedal board. Maybe a small rig where you only got one or two pedals, this is going to cover so many different guitar sounds. If you're interested in checking one of these out, you can follow the links below. You can also find more information on this pedal, other pedals, reviews and services that we offer on the High Point Music website, so don't forget to check that out. If you've enjoyed the video, show us your support by giving us a like, share or subscribe to our social media. Our social media is also a great place to get in touch with us with any questions, comments or suggestions you may have about upcoming reviews, or even questions about the actual pedals that we've done in these videos. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.